This video covers the basic navigation skills and tools you'll need to operate PlanSwift with Electrical Bid Manager. First of all, we're going to start by adding a new page. You can see, first of all, up here in the top left, the entries that have been made on this page up to this point. You can scroll up and down and review your entries. To add a new page, you hit the plus sign at the top left. Just hit next so that you can pick the file or the drawings. Now I want to open up this little folder here under Acme. So I hit this little triangle here. I'm going to open up this E201. It's a lighting page. So when I hit next, again, the default options on the files are pretty typical. You just hit next and finish. And if I scroll down here, I'll see the new page. I just hit the plus sign to open up the new page. And then to go to the next page, you just hit the little icon here and you're on the next page. Most of the basic navigation tools are right up in the top here in the toolbar. The first one you'll probably need to know is how to zoom in. Just click on that little icon and it zooms in at set increments. Right next to it is zoom out. There's two ways to pan or to move around the drawing. You can use this little pan icon and just drag it with your mouse. Or you can also just take the mouse and right click. You don't even have to be on the pan tool. You can just move with the right click on the mouse and drag around the drawing. Then also, if you want to go back to the full page, that's all you do is click that. If you want to zoom in on a specific area of the drawing, up in the top right here there's a little electric room. This is the zoom tool that will let you zoom in on a specific area. Now you can just go down and over. You see it puts a little shaded area there. And you're zoomed in right on that area. Okay, so that's zoom in, zoom out, zoom in on a specific area. And again, to go back to the full page, it's fit page and it brings it back to the entire page. Now again, to move from one drawing to the next, you can either hit the back button, takes you back to the previous page, forward goes back to the previous page, or you can look at your list of drawings here. You can collapse it if there's more than one, expand it to see all the drawings in that folder. Real easy to move from one page to another. So I'm going to go back to the previous page here. If you want to change the shape or color on any of these highlights that's put on the drawing, first of all we'll zoom in a little bit, and then you just simply right click and you go to properties. So you can change the color, you can change the shape, you can change whether it's a solid fill or a hatch pattern or textured, and then when you hit OK it changes the color. It's that easy. Here's a handy button, the undo button. That'll undo your last operation. You can hit undo to undo things. So let's talk about scales next. Now I've already set the scale on this drawing or done some takeoff on it. I'm going to go to the next page here and look at the scale. So there's two ways to set the scale. You can actually manually set the scale by going up here to the drop down menu, and you can set it to 1/8 of an inch equals a foot. Now if I use the zoom tool to come over here to the bottom right, it says that the scale is supposed to be 1/8 of an inch equals a foot. Now one of the reasons this is a good drawing for training and demonstration purposes is that the scale is actually wrong. Now this does happen with electronic drawings. I'm going to go back to full page, and I'm going to zoom in on an area where I can find something that I can check a dimension. So with the zoom tool, I'm going to zoom in up in the top area here where there's some doorways. This drawing doesn't have any actual dimensions on it, so I'm going to have to assume that a doorway like this is 3 feet. So the dimension tool just lets me drag from one point to another, and it tells me that dimension there is almost 4 feet. So I know that there's a problem with the scale. To fix it, I come up here to the drop down menu, or the scale button up here, put in the known dimension of 3 feet. Now I can do this one of two ways. I can hit OK, and I can drag from, let's go to a different doorway over here. I can drag from here to here, and that will set the scale. Or the other way to do it is to go to scale, set it to 3 feet. You don't even have to drag. You can just click on one point, click on another point, and that sets the scale. Now you'll know your scale's been set by this little icon over here in the window that shows you your takeoff. No takeoff on this page yet, but you can see the scale has been set. Never do any measurements without having that little icon for that page. Now we're going to go back to the previous page. Let me show you how to delete. That's real easy. We'll zoom in. You just right click on the one you want to delete. Now be careful here. It's not delete, it's delete point. If you hit delete, it'll delete that particular selection throughout the page, which is something you might want to do as well. But I just want to delete the one point, and that'll delete it. Again, you can undo it. It'll put it back. If all else fails, there are lots of good videos in PlanSwift. They're more general, of course. They're not with electrical examples per se. But if you want to know how to set the scale, for example, just hit the little show me how, and it plays a video of how to do that particular function. You can also set the scale here with the auto function. That's the same thing as hitting the drop down menu here, and you can pick the scale. But all the functions have the show me how option, which plays a video showing you how to do that particular operation or that function.